We've been given a warning that a giant asteroid may strike our Earth in as little as 3 months. Sputnik reports the asteroid, measuring 131 feet, 40 meters in diameter. It's the only celestial body in the European Space Agency's risk list catalog, and is said to have a chance of hitting our planet this year. Now, this is a different list than what NASA near-Earth objects listing is. We can see that on space weather. I'll do an update on that because we have the solar activity as well to report on. That's the video after this one. Now, an asteroid known as 2006 QV89 has a small chance of striking us, our Earth that is, according to the recent risk list updated by the European Space Agency, ESA. ESA astronomers say the asteroid could strike our planet on the 9th of September, with a chance of this happening estimated to be 1 in 7,299. According to the ESA, if its present course continues, the asteroid will pass some 6.85 million kilometers from Earth, and NASA classifies potential hazardous asteroids as those approaching to within about 7.5 million kilometers of our planet. So this is definitely, as far as NASA is concerned, classified potentially hazardous asteroid, and those whose diameter reaches 460 feet. 2006 QV89 already made multiple passes past our Earth through the 20th century, with the closest approach listed starting in the early 1950s, even though it was first seen through a telescope only in 2006 by astronomers at the Catalina Sky Observatory, which is in Arizona. If this asteroid does not hit Earth, it will make its next pass near the planet again in the year 2032. This asteroid is fourth in the ESA risk list, with asteroid 2010 RF12, which is smaller, a 9-meter diameter object, having the highest estimated risk of striking Earth, listed as 1 in 16. So that's pretty high. That asteroid will make its next close approach near our planet in the year 2095. The ESA organizes near-Earth objects according to the Palermo scale, with objects with a figure of less than -2 deemed to indicate no likely consequences for the planet or its inhabitants. On this scale, 2006 QV89 has a strike risk of -3.63. 2010 RF12, meanwhile, has a risk of -3.26. Scientists and engineers worldwide, including NASA and the Russian Academy of Sciences, have been working on a number of programs to find space hazards, to detect them and track them, prepare for possible strikes, and even create space-based systems to alter deadly asteroids' path and trajectories before they impact our Earth. In other words, they're working on an Earth protection system from inbound celestial objects. Even small asteroids can pose a threat to human life. Remember what happened in February 2013 when a meteorite about the size of a bus exploded over the city of Chelyabinsk in central Russia. It left 1,500 injured, as over 7,000 buildings were damaged. It generated a shock wave by the explosion, with most of the injuries caused by shattered glass from the buildings. A century earlier, June 1908, a massive explosion was reported in eastern Siberia, with about 2,220 square kilometers of local forest that was leveled by a mysterious source. It was later revealed that this was an airburst caused by a comet or a meteorite or an asteroid. That event was said to have had the equivalent force of the explosion of 10 to 15 megatons of TNT. Now, there are those that claim that this is just fear-mongering. That's not true, though. Let's remember that just a couple of weeks ago we had an asteroid impact directly onto us, and thank goodness that was in an unpopulated area. It was just south of the Aleutian Islands of Alaska in the area of the North Pacific Ocean. This one here happens to be in Canada. Remember that in the past video I showed you that thing you could see way up from Google Earth if you look at it towards Quebec, towards the coast inland from the St. Lawrence River. And this is another one, an asteroid strike in the Midwest. Look at how huge that thing is. We've even seen them in the Sahara. And a lot of times they come in twins. They seem to be double whammies. It could be that the asteroid cracks off, and as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it doesn't totally burn up. It does come in, and they probably, this one here, you see there's another circle just about the same size just to the north of that one. So this one is in the Sahara Desert, where we saw that impact that was about 5,000 years ago, and also volcanic activity right to the northwest of that looked pretty, the lava outflow looked pretty fresh as well, because, considering they have so many sandstorms that often, it was not covered by sand. This again is in Quebec, as we said. Look at this. This is almost a double one. And that obviously, thank goodness, was in an unpopulated area, even though it was on land. We know that Canada, when I used to live in Canada, only had 10 million people. Today it has 30 million people. Most of them, though, are concentrated in the southern areas of the provinces, just north of the US-Canada border, because north of that is pretty cold. Now, what will happen if a doomsday asteroid is found to be on a collision course with Earth? Well, remember that we had an asteroid strike drill that took about a week, and it finished just beginning of May. And this drill takes place every 2 years in different cities worldwide. And according to what Jasper Hamill reports on Metro UK, an asteroid strike could easily send humanity the way of the dinosaurs. In other words, it would be an extinction level event. It would extinguish the light of our great civilizations. Now, if we find it reassuring to know that NASA and the European Space Agency have a plan about what to do if a doomsday celestial piece of rock is heading our way. NASA is currently working with disaster planners from FEMA. As we said, they had an exercise, they have it every 2 years, to simulate the nightmare scenario of an asteroid impact onto Earth. Also, the European Space Agency, ESA, revealed how it would launch an international response if calculations reveal that an impact was likely. It wrote, quote, observations from around the globe, including from ESA's optical ground station, European observatories and observers, both professional and backyard. In other words, meaning those who are amateur astronomers, and there are a lot of them in the world. They have even helped NASA and other space agencies by examining images that these space agencies don't have enough employees to pay to do. And these amateur unpaid astronomers, having a wage of $0 per month, just volunteering their time, have found near-Earth objects and have notified the space agencies, thank goodness. So they are doing great jobs, these backyard people. And soon, from ESA's FlyEye and testbed telescopes, they are fed into the US database-based Minor Planet Center, the International Asteroid Sorting Hat. Using this data aggregated by the Minor Planet Center, ESA's Near-Earth Object Coordination Center, and NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, ascertains the orbits of these hazardous celestial bodies and assesses the risk they pose as their trajectories show if they are inbound to Earth. Finally, if an asteroid is deemed to be potentially dangerous, national civil authorities and the United Nations and other bodies are informed, and they're given support and guidance from ESA and NASA and other space agencies. Even though ESA has the bureaucratic bit sorted, it's a bit vague about how it would actually save the world from an asteroid, because even during the drill, they failed. So we're glad that NASA is considering how to redirect or deflect asteroids in their asteroid space missions. It's not going to be easy, but they have to have such. Obviously, these are missions that have to be in effect for Earth protection. Asteroids are stronger than predicted, and humanity could have a tough time destroying a celestial doomsday rock on a collision course with us. Scientists used computer simulations recently in the drill to see what might happen when an asteroid was blown up. They found that a huge impact would not turn a city-sized object into a harmless rubble pile, but leave it with significant strength coming into us. In other words, even if they tried to blow it up, they would not be successful. I have to put in my comment here because it's really frightening. They are trying to have they will have a launch towards an asteroid. It's one of my videos that I posted yesterday. An asteroid that's believed to be the core of a planet. Nickel copper, nickel iron, whatever, the whole thing is made of metal. The whole asteroid is made of solid metal, and it used to be the core of a planet. They estimated it was a minor planet, but still it was the core of the planet. So you can imagine how strong this asteroid will be if it was the core of a planet. It's just, we can't fathom how strong that metal and huge it must be. And they're trying to examine it, and I don't know how they're going to examine it if they can get close to it, because these things fly pretty fast. More power to them. I hope they are successful. These things have to be done, and obviously governments have to put their weight back, their money into these missions, because they are, as we said, for Earth's and humanity's protection. You can't be cheap about this. Let's put it that way. This is something that must be done. If you have to cut budget somewhere else, like for defense, for example, put your defense in Earth defense and these things. That's where the money will really take place. Have a good hold, benefit humanity. Now, they said, that a huge impact would not turn a city-sized object into a harmless rubble pile, quote unquote, but it will leave it with significant strength. These findings could have a massive influence on how our species deals with a threat posed by gigantic space rocks. K.T. Ramesh of Johns Hopkins University says we are impacted fairly often by small asteroids, such as the Chelyabinsk even a few years ago. It's only a matter of time before these questions go from being academic to defending our response to a major threat. We need to have a good idea of what we should do when that time comes, and scientific efforts like this one are critical to help us make those decisions. Scientists are currently trying to work out what to do if an asteroid suddenly appears on the horizon. The latest research considered what would happen if we smashed a kilometer-wide asteroid into another that's 25 kilometers wide, which is easily big enough to wipe out life on Earth. They found that millions of cracks formed and rippled throughout the asteroid. Parts of the larger asteroid flowed like sand, and a crater was created after the impact. Okay, that's great. They created a crater, and that's just about it. It didn't stop it from coming in. But after this, the impacted asteroid retained significant strength because it had not cracked completely, indicating that more energy would be needed to destroy asteroids. This means that we might find it very hard to just go up into space and nuke an asteroid thinking that we will stop it, and that would force us to adopt a different strategy to save our species from a catastrophe, an extinction-level event. Now, it may sound like science fiction, but a very big deal of research considers asteroid collisions. This is what Charles L. Meir said. He's the author of the paper on the research. He said, for example, if there's an asteroid coming at Earth, are we better off breaking it into small pieces or nudging it to go to a different direction? And if the latter, how much force should we hit it with to move it away without causing it to break up? These are actual questions under consideration. And the research was funded by the NASA Solar System Exploration Research Virtual Institute. Well, okay, this is what happened during the drill they had that ended at the beginning of May, the 1-week drill. They nuked it. They did not deflect it. They caused it to break into a big piece and a smaller piece. And the smaller piece came in and impacted New York City, supposedly. So that was a huge catastrophe. And that caused, they didn't tell us if that would cause the worldwide extinction because of the size of the asteroid. God forbid, who knows? But from the size of it and the timing of it, it sounded like it was something like an Apophis-sized asteroid, which is supposed to be coming in Friday, April 13th, 2029. And the drill asteroid was about the same size, coming in sometime beginning of April 2027. So you can imagine, we don't have that much time left. No, the Apophis is coming in at us in 10 years. And we still have no way of deflecting asteroids. All right, so I'll leave a link below for you for these articles. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.